The national education policy is supposedly going to be implemented in Nagaland, and this policy has taken Nagaland by storm in a very optimistic way, as well as quite the skepticism is also there for it. And Nagaland News Network spoke to Dr. John Simma, as well as the Vice Chancellor of ICFI University, Dr. Soundaraja Borbora, and let's see what they have to say. They have really struck upon many positive aspects of implementing the NEP, but then again, some questions were raised during the interview. Let's have a look. We have here Professor Dr. Soundaraja Borbora, who is the Vice Chancellor of ICFI University. So thank you so much for speaking to us. So we would like to know your views, being in the education fields, about the Nagaland education policy, or your views on, do you think, of course you had also mentioned during the program that it will be great to implement such policies, but and you spoke about being multilingual as well in your speech, but we do have so many languages with their own customary laws. Do you think it will be good to implement so many languages, especially in this policy also in the state?
You see, whenever we talk about the policy, we have to look into a broader perspective. So as for example, in Nagaland, we need to implement, say, NEP at the school level as well as at the university level and the college level. Already that is a proposition. And there are a lot of flexibility in the NEP. And where they are talking about the language issues also. Because I believe that the more language one learns, it is always an advantageous. So therefore, I am very new to the state. But the thing is that as far as I know, you have the different communities, and different communities, their languages are different. So as for example, one community, say Lota, has to speak to Angami, then maybe they will be talking in Nagamis. Okay, so therefore that is a combination of Naga, Bengali, maybe Assamese, mostly the Naga and Assamese. So the thing is that is a kind of a communication language, which is also very important, because whenever we talk about even the literacy and all, we need to write, read and communicate. So understanding whatever is there to communicate to a different persons. So that is very important to speak in local language. So whenever we need to develop that. So may not be as a subject. But the thing is that along with that, we can have other languages, like it can be Hindi, it can be English, or it can be any other language. I'm not talking about even foreign languages, like nowadays a lot of universities, especially as coming up in school level, you will find like some of the DPS, they are coming with the French language, German language. So always I believe that learning a language is an advantage. So that can be done. Secondly, the thing is that whenever we talk about education, there has to be a lot of emphasis to be given not only to literacy but numeracy, because the numbers are always very important, and numbers are important. Ultimately, these two things are important to make a person employable in any areas. So that is very important.
And for all of that, we do need the right teachers and professors also for that. So recruiting and training of these teachers in the state seems to be quite the task. What would you suggest?
No, I do not know the recruitment. There is a policy of recruitment of the naturally from the government. Okay. Secondly, you see that there is always a possibility of give the training. Nowadays, teachers training programs are there. There are different kind of B.Ed education now. UGC is coming up with a 4-year integrated B.Ed education. So already some of the universities started implementing it. So you see that the right professional will be coming up, and there can be training on the job performance, because many a time you will find that teacher has to be the dedicated one. They have to be giving their full 100% to teaching, and they should have an interest. As teacher, the role of the teacher is not something like you become a teacher to earn something, but you have to have the interest in teaching as well as no, you have to enjoy that and not enjoy those kind of teaching any of the subjects and to be with the young minds. And I believe that no, being in the teaching profession for 30 years, I enjoyed it, and always I feel that no, whenever we were working with or you was doing it with young, you feel yourself and young. I think those kind of an involvement is necessary for every teacher so that they can be successful in their whatever area they are doing it.
See, even the NEP also wants to make digital literacy a very big success in the state. But we looking at the condition of the state, and especially in the rural areas, how do you think this will be possible? And especially when you want to say classroom should be technology savvy and everything. So all these things logistically and all, how do you think this will be possible?
You see that digital is coming, and that is why in G20 also they are talking about the digitalization. And not only education, you will find that there will be revolutions. Today maybe we are a bit, and the technology has come because now the technology has come. That you can provide into remote areas or the kind of internet connectivity and all, the satellite connectivity and all. The different companies now, as far as I come to know that Geo will be coming with the Geo Air. This is a means you do not require the wiring system. But the thing is that no, it will be something like that. So therefore the technology improvements are happening, and if these improvements are happening, and I have seen in the Nagaland Post, I think some time back, that they are coming up with some digital platform so as to app which has been connected with WhatsApp, so that no, the citizens can get the government services in some remote areas. So I think if there is a will, there is a way, and it depends on the policy people and the bureaucrats and the policy makers how they accept it and how they take up the challenges. And I think that it may take some time, but it should be successful, and it is being successful in many countries.
We have here Sir John Simma. He's a professor of political science at the Nagaland University. So thank you for speaking to us on the national education policy. So you had spoken quite a bit and given us a gist of what the policy will entail and what is good about the policy, the optimistic, points. But there are also some questions when it comes to implementing it in Nagaland. There's so many issues that might come up. For instance, recruitment of teachers, training of teachers, and then the logistics, so on all these. So especially in terms of technology also, we don't have proper power, electricity. So would you like to comment on all these, and how do you think Nagaland is going to implement such a big policy in such rural areas as well?
I think it is a big challenge for the state, and state should come up in a big way to see to that national education policy is implemented in Nagaland, and we'll have to catch up with the rest of the country. And for that, the government has to act, but our people, the citizens also should also come forward, and they should be proactive. They should also give constructive suggestions, advice, opinion to the government, and not just to be a meat spectator. And our people don't speak. The problem is we don't give advice, a suggestion, and whatever is required. That what we are supposed to do it, we are not doing it, and that is why we are lacking that. So I think this we need financial support, and there should be private and public partnerships. And for that, I think we have to also to look out not only the government, but also the public also should come forward. And for that, we need a cooperative effort. Otherwise, just simply depending on the government will not able to implement this national education policy. I think that this for the teachers, we need, you see, this what happened, one problem, I don't blame only the government and people, but both sides. Because, this national education policy is that in order to be successful, teachers also should be equipped. And for that, they should be trained. And the other part of the country and developed countries, they don't allow the teachers who are not trained and those who does not have the background, they are not allowed to teach. Okay, but here in Nagaland, most of the time we have the proxy teachers, unqualified teachers, and many of the qualified teachers are there in the government schools and colleges, but particularly to the schools and primary levels, teachers are not going to the respective place of posting, and this is a one problem that our students will have problems.
So, speaking on the NAP, we do also have the National Youth Policy, which will also, it entails education and sports and all under that policy. But we have not heard about it in Nagaland, even though it was implemented some time ago. It seems to have been ignored. Do you think any NEP also will just go down the drain like that once implemented? Because a lot of things seem to be working that way in the state.
You see, this, if Nagaland government is not implementing this, our Naga children will be lagging behind. They will not able to catch up. And for that, the government and the people should wake up from the slumber and see that the school from class 5 to onwards level. Now the potential, the skill, the talent, the children they have, that should be explored. Yes. And that should be honed, their skills, and given a proper training, proper guidance, so that they will able to opt for that particular profession where they are good. Okay, they are talented, and so this so that nobody is left out. A good footballer may not be good in studies, but he can be a very good footballer. Through that, he can earn his livelihood. Okay, a good musician may not be a good student, but he can shine in his profession. Or a good arts craftsman, or painters, or any other professions. No, they can be successful in their own professions. Not necessarily they should go for MA, PhD and all. So that is why the government NEP is that everybody should be productive in their own area of specialization, skills, and nobody should be the liability to the state and to the society.
We're talking about productivity of students, but about productivity of the government. Do you think the education department would be productive enough to implement such a big policy?
No, the education government department also should also draw some of the the scholars or the intellectuals who can help them. And now they should also, they should bring some retired person or intellectuals or those who are specialized that they can bring them on contract. Okay, this is the NEP is a part of that. Okay, so that they can be given us some kind of if somebody can give free free of cost, but if there is some kind of nominal remuneration, I think that should be extended by the government, and so that this NEP can be successful. Another very important what the government is lacking is that they should follow the rules, okay, and should be implemented both in letter and spirit, and there should not be any political pressure, okay. And this is one of the main area where this the government is failing. That political pressure from all angles, this side, that side. Okay, this is a main problem, and for that I think that has to be very, very strictly enforced. And once that is strictly enforced, I think we can achieve, and then even the student body or social, there's activists, our, what we can see that civil society, they should also come up, and they should also raise the voice that now we cannot remain as it is, but we have to speak up. Oh, we have to speak up, and we have to see that what is needed, what changes we require, and what kind of transformation we require. That we need to wake up from there now. Otherwise, if we just remain as it is, I think that NEP is going to be miserably failed. And so I'm also worried because I teach in the university. And why this university is also facing problem is that because when the feeding is not good, okay, then we will not able to do it. Because in the university level is that we cannot come back to the basics. Okay, we cannot come back to the basics. So the basic has to be taught from the primary and secondary level. Then only, we are just in the university level, it is just fine-tune of their knowledge, refining of their knowledge, and not to start with the basics. And this is the problem where we are facing that. Here our education system is very static, stereotypes. We are very traditional kind of teaching method that is being there. And so we need to go with the adaptive system. Adaptive means we should be able to go change along with the change of time. We should be able to adapt with the change of time. And for that, if a student is very good in footballing, okay, now you should not go and encourage him to go for a BA, MA, okay. But if he's good in that area, or otherwise, giving them training, the vocational training, where he or she is good, okay, and only those students who are good in study, who can really go up to the higher levels, only that students are encouraged. Then there should not be any unemployment problem in Nagaland. Now, with the focus is that every parents want their children to get government job only, okay, and not to the private enterprise. This is one area. The second problem is that even the government is not able to encourage, not able to assist, and not providing them the avenue. This is one problem. The second, another problem is that even the society is also thinks in terms of the government job, not in terms of giving this the entrepreneurships. Okay, now we have to encourage that if a local young person is coming up with some kind of business, we have to encourage, we have to see to that they come up in a big way. Okay, this is one area where we are not able to do that. Another problem with the teachers in the schools is that they have not studied properly. They don't do their homeworks. Okay, they don't do the homeworks, and more problem is that in the government schools. The government schools where poor parents' children are studying. Okay, and so this lack of proper attention is there. Okay, so this is also one problem. So that and private institutions where now everybody wants to send their children in the private institutions, okay, to get good marks, to go for higher studies. So that is also another big problem. So here this problem is not only one area, but there are. So I could see that since I'm not teaching in the school level and college level, so and I'm not most of the time, but where I just see from all these angles, these are some of the problems that Naga people are facing that. And that is why I feel that unless the people should wake up and also see that the civil society organization should also speak out and see that how this NAP should be implemented, properly. Otherwise, I don't think that it is going to be, successful, and we will be lagging behind because now there are so many, dropout school children. They have to be accommodated now. Expansion of skill building is necessary. More number of teachers will be appointed, and then teachers should be trained, and also now more teachers. And the policy is that what is more important is that before the teachers are appointed, they should be trained, and not after the teacher join in the service. This is the one problem in Nagaland we are facing that. And this political appointment is given another happening, and merit and deserving candidates are not able to be appointed. And this is also another one area. Another one area I will just point out that more educated, more qualified, once they are appointed, they don't go to the place of posting, but they keep the proxy teachers. And that is also another one. This is a one area that is going to affect NEP very badly in Nagaland.